definitely. From what I read, I know the Osicas were, again, a big part in kind of this hire. They were advocating for you a lot. And again, this Hobart community has obviously already gotten behind you and are very excited for what's to come up. Can you talk to me about that whole hiring process and how the Hobart community and, of course, the Osicas really helped you in this situation?
Yeah, I think it started a couple years ago, being at Westside. Craig introduced me to him after our game, and we kind of reconnected after the season. It was a 2020 season. They whooped us. It was 70-0, and shortly after, he had reached out, and I, politely declined and just like, hey, this is something that, I feel strongly about. I want to try to stay here as long as I can. And another year went by, and we reconnected, and so that kind of unfolded, and coming here was a big part of that process. It wasn't ever promised to me or anything like that. It was something I had to work for, and something that we had to build that mutual trust for. But it was always kind of like a part of the plan that we wanted to try to implement here when Craig was ready to step away, and he was ready to step away kind of a year earlier than what he had wanted to. And, and yeah, his support and from his family and everyone in this community has been absolutely amazing. And yeah, I mean, it's hard to put it into words, man. It was pretty remarkable, the amount of love and support from this community that we've had so far, and what we continue to hope to have going forward.
Definitely. One of the first things I noticed, my first assignment for working for this company was week 1 against Chesterton here, and I was looking at the crowd here, at these bleachers over here, and a lot of it was, again, more older people with probably, if I were to assume, probably not much tied to the current team on the field. But that's how, there were just so many people here, given it was the home opener, but I feel like that's kind of how it is for the whole season. What again, you were here, you were on the sidelines, looking at that, how cool is that to see, again, just a packed house with people that are just supportive of Hobart football?
Yeah, man, it's like, it's something that I've got to, kind of pinch myself on sometimes. A part of that, what we want to try to do is reconnect our past with friends as much as we can. And we kind of started to do that through social media a little bit. We started a Rookie Vault every Friday. We're trying to reconnect with the past, and yeah, just trying to, because a lot of those kids aren't connected with a lot of the, there's some family, there's a lot of family ties. There still are pretty deep ties, but yeah, the history is so deep and rich that trying to connect that as much as we can is a priority of ours, because you noticed it on that night. It's like that most of our home games where we get a pretty packed house.
It's so fascinating.
It is. It's amazing. It's something that you want that. You'd rather have it that way than any other way. Because I've been on the other side of it where it's hard to get people in the games, and here having a rabid fan base, it's awesome. It's something that every head coach or aspiring head coach dreams of. So yeah, I love it.
Definitely preferable. I always like to stop at the 50-yard line, kind of recollect, but you've had quite the journey. Of course, your father, obviously, he's been around the football world as well as you. You're at the young age of 28 now, 29? Yeah, who's counting?
You're right.
So talk to me about, this chapter. Now, I'm not going to say this is the final chapter of your football journey, but have you expected this, as little as 5 years ago?
No, I think my wife and I, Sarah, we prayed about this for a while. This is something that, and even for me as a young kid, growing up, eventually my dad being a head coach, it's something that I've always dreamed of. It's something that, this genuinely is for me a dream job. It's one of the best jobs in the state. It's something that I've always wanted to do. It's been a dream come true, really, the past month, being able to do this at this level in high school football in Indiana. It's hard to put it into words, man. It's an amazing job. It's something that I've aspired to be for a long time. To get here at 28, I'm not really counting that. It doesn't matter to me. I think our experiences throughout life kind of make us who we are, and at that point, I think that matters more than anything else, than age. So I think that's very important to look at, and I think my experiences have been pretty good, and I think to get to this point, they have to be, right?
Right. Looking at your experiences, what is one point you could say, if you could point to one point, that you could say, this is what I want to do for the rest of my life? You mentioned you were at Purdue Northwest, you studied poli-sci. I don't know how much, looking to do head coaching football was really lingering, but at what point in your life would you say, this is what I want to do?
Yeah, I was actually probably 2006 sectional.
Okay.
Yeah, it was before I even started coaching. It was my dad's. We were at Greensburg, sectional title against Batesville. We were a rival and conference rival, and short. It came up short. Came up short that game. It was 10-2, best season in school history at that time. 16-8 was the final, and I remember I was bawling my eyes out after the game, and I remember all the kids just destroyed after the game, and just that feeling of like wanting to be back, like to be in that moment again. Even as a ball boy, you know, what the heck did I have to feel that way? But I felt really connected, deeply connected to that team, the family atmosphere, the coaches, the managers, the cheerleaders, the whole community, that support.
Right.
That was something I felt at that time that I was like, man, I don't want, you know, I want this again and again and again. And you can only get that after high school through coaching. And so, yeah, that passion, that love for the game, that desire to win at that age, really, I was like, yeah, this is something I can see myself doing for the rest of my life.